Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Quick Tip Tuesday. My name is Kevin McKella. Thank you so much for tuning in again. And today I'm going to give you a really practical piece of advice. Not that all my other pieces of advice are not practical, but I think this one is really going to hit home for the people that look at ritual design and look at, all these different routines throughout the day and say, okay, that's way too much, Kevin. Like, I can't do 4, 5, I can't do all these different rituals. I got a bunch of other stuff to do, and I get it. Like, sometimes, especially also sometimes your mornings are not suited for a morning routine because maybe you work nights and you get up at, whatever it may be, right? Maybe your night routine is not really situated because, maybe you're a waiter at a restaurant, who knows, whatever it is. So here's my kind of hack to this situation. What I want you to do is I want you to bookend what is stressful throughout your day with 2 routines. It's really quite simple. So for 90% of you guys that are listening out there, and I mean, most of us really have like a 9 to 5 type of job, or even if you're in school, right? You have a school day most of the time. Even in college, you have a certain window that you're going to classes for the most part. So here's the situation. Let's pretend you have a 9 to 5 office job, right? And that's probably the most stressful part of your day. What you want to do is you want to have a BW routine, a before work routine, and an AW routine, an after work routine, because you know that that's really the only times that you can kind of get in these rituals and stuff that you really want. And what you need to do is bookend those rituals around the most stressful part of your day. So before you go to work, you can invest a little bit of time in yourself, even if it's 20 minutes, right? For 5 minutes, you can read a little bit, for another 5 minutes, you can meditate a little bit. For another 5 minutes, you can do some breathing exercise. There's so much you can do in a short period of time. And that may be just like your before work routine after you've already gotten up, showered, ate breakfast, did all that stuff. That is separate than an actual morning routine. An AM routine is much more kind of involved and all-encompassing to your longevity, right? So then you go into work and you're set, right? Another one which is really good is actually something I'm totally stealing from my college band director, actually. And it's kind of funny, the method, and who knows if he made this up or took it from somebody else, but it's a really good one. It's called the problem tree. And this may also be part of your BW routine. When you're walking up to the office and all of a sudden you're seeing the same, like, here we go, another 8 hours, right? And you're just stressed. And like I said, this is a whole nother conversation. But to deal with this in your ritual, like, you walk up and you spot a tree or a bush, anything, right? If you see a tree that has like branches, whatever it is, right? And that landmark, it could be anything, it doesn't have to be a tree, but that landmark is going to be your problem tree. And you're going to literally pretend like you're taking your coat of problems off, hang it up, and hang it on one of the branches of the problem tree. And what that means is, like, okay, any problems that you had yesterday at work, any stress that you had yesterday, at the office, you're just going to hang it up. It's going to sit out there waiting for you to come back, or even stress at home, right? Maybe, your kids are acting up, or you have problems with your spouse, whatever it is. You're going to hang up those problems and you're going to go into work and you're going to be really focused. You're going to have a good day. Like, it's a really, really good habit to get into. So that's the first end of the bookend, right? The one part. And then at the end, when you're walking out of the day, you're wrapping up your day at work, you have an after work routine. So this is kind of, wrapping up what you may need to do at work. If you're sitting at your desk, you may have to clean your desk or whatever to try to optimize for tomorrow, bang out whatever, last couple of emails or phone calls you have to make, whatever that is for you. It's very contextual for each job, obviously. But what may be kind of all-encompassing for most of us is trying to leave work at work, right? Not bring your problems and let your, significant others and your family have to hear you vent about that every day. Leave that stuff at work, right? So similar to the problem tree, we kind of, we don't have to pick it back up at the end when we're walking out. So a couple of really easy things to implement in your after work routine may be before you even sit in your car, and this is great, especially for me, like if I want to be a calm driver, right? Road rage is not a good thing. We don't like that. So we want to implement some type of practices there, right? So before you get into the car, or not even, you get into the car, you're sitting there, there's a million different apps out there that can help you with this. The one I found that really worked was the Breathe app. And this was where I was wearing my Apple Watch, and it was kind of like, it was one of like the home-based apps or whatever that came with it. And it just was 1 minute, right? And you would breathe in nice and deep and breathe out nice and deep. And it would kind of help you do that for just 1 minute. And what I also tried to do is couple that with a little bit of like a meditative practice, trying to just get into a meditative state as fast as I can within that minute and just be present, right? And that could be your entire after work routine. It doesn't have to be advanced. It doesn't have to be crazy, but it has to be something that you're bookending the stressful parts of your day. Now, that may not be work for you. Maybe you have an amazing job. You love everything about it. Like right now, my day job, I love 99% of it. It's amazing. Very few people can say that. And, so for me, like a lot of those practices, I actually don't have to do that anymore. Trust me, I've had really, really bad jobs where that stuff really helped out. Hence why this is all coming about. But more importantly is that, your stressful part of your day, maybe when you get home, maybe you are dealing with some stuff, with your mom or your grandfather or whoever it is, right? Or maybe you just have some real stressful stuff going on with the house or who knows? I don't know. But then you would bookend that part of your day. The second you go, get home, your after work routine would happen more so like at the beginning of when you arrive home, right? And then you would bookend that when you go to sleep, right? Right before you go to bed, you'll do a PM routine. And that, like I said, maybe some meditative practices, that may be some breathing stuff, maybe even some TV, just to get your mind off things. Whatever that is, that today is what I want you to really take away for your time-crunched people out there that don't believe they can't really like implement a full-fledged ritual design. Bookend with 2 different rituals around the most stressful part of your day. Guys, I hope that helped. I can't speak today. I hope that helped. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't yet subscribed to the podcast, please do so. It'll pop up in your, wherever you like to listen to podcasts. If you're watching this, please also subscribe, leave a comment, and hit the bell icon so anytime a new video comes out, you'll be actually notified. Guys, thank you once again, and I will see you on Thursday for our full episode on the Upgrade My Business podcast.